Hello and welcome to the latest podcast relating to the book that I've written, Living with Mitochondria Against All Odds. I haven't been, I keep saying that I'm going to do this podcast saying what I've got done and coming up. I haven't done that much recently. I went to the Blind Society's AGM, which was okay. I've been cycling a little bit. I go cycling once a week with a volunteer from the Blind Society. I have an adapted tandem. It's called a piggyback tandem. Younger people have these piggybacks that attach to their parents' bikes, but I have an adult version which has stabilizers because my balance isn't very good. It's non-existent. Is my balance? It is most of the time because I can't walk. So I go cycling nearly once a week with my volunteer Nick from the Blind Society. But one thing I thought about the other week was I've never actually spoken about any of the activities that are in the book on these podcasts yet, which I'm going to start today. And the first activity that I'm going to speak to you about is the triathlon. Now, the triathlon I've done for the last few years, barring the year that we had the pandemic. The year we had the pandemic, I did my own at-home challenge, and I pushed my wheelchair up and down the street where I lived at the time 4 times. And after doing this, I turned around to myself and thought, I'm going to learn to walk again. My arms are so achy, I'm going to learn to walk again. Well, I knew, of course, that is impossible to happen because of my condition. I can't learn to walk again. But, just for humour purposes, I thought, I'm going to learn to walk again. But again, that is just the way I deal with things because I know I can't learn to walk again. But but the triathlon, the one we do is we go down to London and do this triathlon in Dorney Park, and we usually do the middle distance, which is 400 meter swim, followed by a 10k bike ride, followed by a 2.5k wheelchair push, or some people push the wheel. Some people get the carers to push the wheelchair or the sidekicks. As in the triathlon, we always refer to our helpers as sidekicks. So you're all on like an equal level playing field. But I always say to my sidekicks, no, I want to push the wheelchair on myself and tell them off. And it's quite, they kind of make it quite humorous, like, don't push in because he'll tell you off. Which I do always tell them off. And so we and often when we're in the it's an open water lake, and when we're in the lake, I always have to get my sidekicks to tell me which direction to go, because quite usually in the last 2 triathlons that I've done, I've often swam further than I actually had to because I've not always gone in the right direction. But on this occasion, one of my sidekicks was always talking to me and telling me which direction to go. And she had a bright yellow t-shirt on. I think as well because I did the breaststroke all the time, so that enabled me to kind of see the little bit I can see, to see which direction I was always going in, because unfortunately one arm's stronger than the other. It's not that much stronger that I go around in a circle, but it is stronger than the other. And so we did the swim, and then I actually hired a bike, because I'd gone down on the train and stayed over in a friend's place, so I hired a bike for this part of the triathlon, and it was an independent bike, so my sidekick had to stay close to me. So we made sure I didn't end up in a lake or anything like that, and yeah, that was really good. And then we did the 2.5K wheelchair push, or the people with me just walked alongside, and that was really good. And this year I was raising money for Remap, as the last couple of years I've done, or last other 2 triathlons in London I've done. The one that I did at home was to raise money for the Lily Foundation, which is one of the mitochondria charities. That is the overall condition I have, which you will know from reading the book. I have mitochondria, and I'm just doing loads of actions to the person sat next to me, which she's always sat silent, bless her.
7 minutes.
So we've done 7. Right, that's okay. I'm just checking how much time we've done, because I always try and make these short and sweet. This one's been slightly longer, but hopefully it's still short and sweet, and I'll start wrapping it up very soon. But yeah, the triathlon and the place that I've stayed when we've done these triathlons is one of my colleagues that goes to Liverpool with us, her husband. I've often stayed in his flat, and the first time I stayed in his flat, I've mentioned in the book, it's on the 4th floor, and just before we went to bed, he kind of came to me and said, "Oh, don't worry if there's a fire alarm, Ian, they'll come and get us with the cherry pickers, and the fire service will get us with the cherry pickers," and not being able to walk, and I'm like, "Okay then, man, no problem," and I'm like, "Yeah, alright," kind of found that quite amusing, but I'm sure if it had happened, it wouldn't be that amusing, because it would have all been chaotic. But yeah, thankfully that's never happened, and the few times that I've stayed at Wayne's, and yeah, but that was one of the activities that's in the book, which hopefully you'll be reading, or you will have read, and I'll look forward to speaking to you again on the next podcast to do with the book Living with Mitochondria Against All Odds. So till next time.